Welcome back to another special edition of Spoiler Country, talking about the Eynes Anthology. Today's story is going to be special because it's one that you worked on.
No, I didn't.
Going to work on.
Maybe. If you're
Hopefully. I've already paid you for it.
in sex?
Yes, but I mean, we'll get to that in a minute. So this one's it's called The Story Between. It's the story that goes between the stories, which it kind of gives the name away and what it is. The song you hear on this one is from... Stop making faces at me. I can't concentrate when you're making faces at me. But the song you'll hear in this one and the whole song at the end is from my old band called Damn the Cow. And it's a song called A Friend in Need is a Friend Who Will Sink You Like a Stone.
It's about time that we find new songs. How old is Damn the Cow?
I found lots of new songs. I just used one of my songs. It's okay to use one of my songs from my story.
From how long ago?
19 years ago.
Like I said, it's about time we update some of our
I was 18 when we were playing drums and recorded this live at Olympic College.
It's time to stop reliving the good old days.
Well, let me record some new stuff.
You're recording right now. Done.
All right, here's my new song. La, 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 la.
No.
Okay.
Go back to the old song.
Well, you hear me talk about the story. You hear Kaylie here talk about the story. And then we hear a song from apparently a band that I should never talk about again. Because fuck the past.
Obviously.
All right, here we go.
The Story Between the Stories. Written in art by John Horsley. Letters by Kaylie Horsley. The ability to see through time has its ups and downs. How would you use this gift?
So, in this anthology, there is a story between all the different stories, and it just kind of ties everything together. What were your ideas behind that, man?
So that actually started with a conversation between you, TJ, Troy, and myself at least a year ago when I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing something in between the stories of the book to kind of tie everything together. And we shot around ideas. And actually, your story idea came out of that conversation.
Yeah.
You saw the hard story literally came out of that conversation with between us. And our original was like, originally we talked about using your story as like the connection between them. We're like, oh, that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But then we fast forward and I was like thinking, what if I don't want to give away too much of what's the story between, because the way that story works out is it's like before and after every story is a single page digital painting that I've done with some words that my wife is doing. She's doing calligraphy for to write the letters out. So each page is going to have, fancy writing telling you some information with a painting of something happening. And those pages between are telling you connections between stories that you may not have picked up on. So you can read that and go back and forward and see stuff. But it's also, it's one person that's not named yet telling things to you and talking to you as the reader. And my idea behind this is I wanted to have some kind of narration in the book without having narration in the book, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a total interstitial narrative.
Right. And I didn't want to name this character. You do see the character, but you don't get a name for him. And he will be named and you will find out who he is in a future book. But as far as book one goes, it's a mystery of who he is. But I will tell you, if you really, really, really pay attention to the stories, you should be able to figure it out. But we're not going to straight up name him until like book 2 or book 3. But it's basically this character who can kind of see into his own family tree, forwards and backwards. So he kind of can see these events happening and experience them in certain ways, not fully, not 100% visual, not 100% audio, doesn't see it clearly, but he sees things and he's kind of going over his family history with you as you learn things and read these other stories that he's experiencing or that you're experiencing. And it was just this idea I had of how to connect things and how to incorporate more of this book into a bigger overarching story and use this to kind of like link everything together to make the bigger story.
Yeah. And it works really well. And it's going to kind of just be a continuing thread throughout the series.
Yeah, it is. Each book, the 4 books, is going to have this story between. It's probably just going to be called The Story Between for all 4 books. I'm not going to change the name because really that's what it is. And It's going to be interesting because I'm not going to say it here while recording it, but I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But I do have some ideas of how to keep it fresh in the other books and some things I want to do to make it work really, really well by book 4. Because I got this planned out as I do with most things, But I'm pretty excited because one of the things I'll tell everybody here, I am using, so for my paintings, because I want them to look a certain way, I am using photo reference and like heavy photo reference for what I'm painting as far as like positions go. And I'm using my 16-year-old son as the model. So I'm positioning him with a pencil and a book to use as the book he's writing in, like different settings, different like desk areas. And I'm getting shadows and lights. I'm using him for all my shadows and lights and positioning and stuff to get the look of what I'm doing. And then I'm doing it in a way that, like, if you know my son, you can look at it and go, oh yeah, that's Cody. Kind of as a nod to him for being my 16-year-old and kind of like, look, dad's putting you in a book. But 2, it also kind of, he has the look and the age look of the character, of this character, that of how old I want them to look and be. So it was a perfect film reference for me to use,
And also, I mean, you're helping to keep a kid off the streets, man. I mean,
I am.
Like, stay still, Dad. Just take a picture. No, shut up. Stay still.
Shut up. I got to paint this live. You don't move for 2 hours. No. He's a good sport, though. He thinks it's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I got my wife to do lettering. I told her, I was like, hey, babe, do you want to do calligraphy for me? She's like, yeah, because she loves to do calligraphy. So she's going to do all the fancy writing for it, which is going to be cool.
That's so hopefully you're not too wordy, because that I could see that causing some issues.
Yeah, no, I've kept these pages very minimal in text on purpose.
Well, let's not give away too much.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to talk about this any much more without giving away the story. So let's just go ahead and say thank you so much for listening to this episode. And this is going to end the conversation about the story between.
Yeah.
Well, I am here with Kaylie Horsley to interview her about a book.
A book.
I am a very professional reporter.
No, you're not.
I am professional. Don't you hear my professional voice?
Nope, you're just making your voice lower. I can also do this. Does that make me sound more professional?
Oh my God, are you a reporter too?
I am.
And scene. So, you haven't done anything yet, but you are going to be doing the lettering or calligraphy for the story that I wrote.
Which I'm super excited about, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a fun story because I decided a long time ago, as you'll hear when we're talking about it, doing a story between the stories and then having you do because you do some really beautiful lettering and calligraphy when you really want to.
Oh, thanks. That was a backhanded compliment.
Well, because I mean that in you don't always do it, but when you do it, it comes out beautiful,
Well, thank you.
That's how I meant it.
Okay. I'll take it that way.
Yeah, you will. So, this is fun because we're husband and wife and jokes go so far. But have you read it yet?
I read it all the time.
Have you? I meant the story, not read it. Although clever.
Right? That doesn't happen out of me very often.
High five that one.
Boom. All right. So, no, I have not read the story yet, but I will.
Our son is the model for this story.
I did know that.
Yeah,
yes.
He volunteered himself to be the model for the art for the story. Not like I'm modeling him, but,
Right.
But the reference photos.
Then you'd be modeling a dick. He takes after his dad.
Just a giant dick.
I say that with all the love.
Yeah. So, are you going to... do you have any thoughts or plans for this? Or are you just waiting until I get it in front of you?
I usually wing it. I'm pretty good at that. I don't know. I might look at some different styles, some new styles, textures. I'll have to get a new pen, obviously, and it needs to be a really nice pen.
Obviously. It's a book expense, right?
Yeah. Totally. So that's where we'll start.
Yeah.
Yep. And then practice a little bit. I'm a little rusty. It's been a little while.
You have 10 pages to letter.
Oh, fuck me. Are you kidding me? That's
No.
a shit ton of That is a shit ton of lettering.
There's only 20 words per page, though, so it's not really that much.
Better not be.
I toned it back a ton because you're hand lettering all this, so I was like...
Yeah, it takes me fucking forever. It's 5 minutes a letter because I'm so ridiculously slow and a perfectionist.
So you heard it here first. When the book is delayed because pages aren't done, it's going to be because Kaylee's not done with her job yet.
This is true.
So
Because I'm the delayer fish.
not really. No, actually, this is cool because I was selfishly I was trying to find a way to get you into this book somehow.
I know I'm only doing this because you like me to be a part of your life or something.
Right. Well, that way, if we ever split up, you can claim royalties.
Obviously. I'm going to take you for everything you're worth. All $10 of it.
You get 2.5 of the kids. I'll get 2.5. You get 2.5. It's fair trade.
Obviously. Duh.
So, man, I kind of wish I would have given you the script before we did this. You could actually read it first. Like it doesn't really matter.
I'm really excited, though. It'll be fun. I love doing some sort of artistic outlet, and unfortunately, that did not hit me very well. I was very lightly brushed with the artistic stick.
Well, I you say lightly brush. I actually think that when you get into your groove and do shit, you come up with some pretty cool stuff. Like when you were doing all the silhouette stuff and all that kind of designing shit, you came out with some pretty awesome ideas all on your own. So don't shy away from like your awesomeness. It's you may not be able to draw and may not be able to like do the stuff like comic book stuff, but you definitely have your own creative spark for sure.
Well, thank you. I will take that
To the bank.
Yep.
Cash it for all those exposure bucks.
It's fun. It is a way to, get out and do something outside of your norm and express yourself, even if it is something a little bit different. But, so I try. Pinterest helps.
Yeah. So what if we put this book out, right? And let's say this book becomes a huge hit, right?
Obviously.
And everyone's like, man, Kaylie Horsley, I want her to letter my book. Are you going to letter someone else's book for him too?
I don't know. They'd have to pay me more in sex.
Wait, what?
More than sex.
Oh, I thought you said more insects. I'm like, wait, hold on.
No, I don't know. Probably not.
Right? It's going to be funny. Because they're going to look great. And you're going to be like, nope, I only do it for John because he makes me.
I do it for I do it for like the kids. And I don't even think I did our wedding invitations, which I should have. Like,
No, our wedding invitations were very generic. I don't even know what they look like.
I don't really either. It was so long ago.
It's like 13 years ago, 12 years ago. How long ago was it? How long have we been married?
12.
I always forget because you always tell me 13 or
Shut up.
You always round up by some number.
Yeah, because we met in May and got married in February. So by the time we've had our wedding anniversary, we're coming up on at least our knowing anniversary.
Yeah, we met in May, but we didn't even start like talking until July.
Yeah. So still.
And we didn't start really talking until August and dating until September. So I'm like, yeah, we met in May. It's like, oh, hi. And that's it. We didn't actually talk.
Whatever.
All right. And on that note, let's go to bed.
Good night.
You may go to bed. I mean, you go do nails and I'll go edit.
I'm probably going to go to bed now.
No, don't do that. Don't be lame.
Tired.
It's like 3 in the afternoon.
It's like 8, 7.
It's 7:30.
Oh, God, that's why I'm so tired. Well, I've been this tired since 4, so now I have an excuse.
Say bye, Kaylie.
Bye, Kaylie.